Hello and welcome. This is a very quick video to answer this question from a gentleman called Kiwi4. Now he has got a plane that has landing gear on it, and he wants to use one of the trims on his particular radio to manage the trimming for the steering. Now this is actually a great question, so I thought I would do a video. So Kiwi4, this one is for you. Now this is actually not that tricky. And on radios like this TX16S, there are additional trims that don't appear to be connected to everything. And that's why having those extra trims on a radio like this can be incredibly useful. But let me show you how to do it. Even though this particular person asking has a different radio that has a different setup, we can decouple the trims that would normally be used for the throttle from the throttle and connect them to something else. So now if I move the throttle trim, watch what happens. So the rudder at the moment, I've got two inputs connected to that, and that means that channel 4, which goes the full distance here, would be connected to the rudder potentially, and then I've copied that onto channel 5, and that is the one that can control my steerable tail wheel. However, using the trim that would normally be for the throttle is affecting that steerable wheel on channel 5.
Trim center.
So let me show you how I've done that. We'll press and hold model, and we'll just zoom across, and first of all we can look at the inputs. So I have duplicated the rudder, which is typically how you're going to control a steerable tail wheel while you're taxiing around and taking off. And what I've done is I've changed the weight a little bit just so it's easy to see which is which. But typically you're going to change the weight so that it works for you on the ground. Now what I've done on the throttle, if we press and hold and say edit, you'll notice that at the bottom I've turned the trims off. Now that then means that the trims that would normally be slave to the throttle are now available for anything else. And you can use the trims for buttons, change global variables, act as basically a variable control, loads of different stuff. Check out the link in the description for lots of the tips like this. Now that's available, what we can do is go into the new steering input. Now if we look at that, you'll see that what I've done is I have connected the throttle trim to the trim at the bottom. Now if I just enter that, you can see that I can change whichever one. I can have it for elevator, throttle, aileron, and it also one of these other auxiliaries that I happen to have in this radio as well. However, we don't want any of those, we just want good old throttle. Once that's set, then the only other thing I've done is I've added another output here, another one in the mixer, and that mixer is then just presenting that input with those trims that are all set up ready so that you can plug your steering servo into it. And that's how we get it, so that I can now use the throttle trim to trim the steering wheel on something like a fixed wing model. So hopefully Kiwi4, that answers it for you. It's always easy when you know how. Thank you for spending your time today watching that video. You can find me in all the usual places on social media, and if you're trying to learn about a subject, then check out the playlist. All of my videos are organized into easy to follow playlists that if you're trying to learn a topic will take you from the basics right the way through to some pretty advanced stuff.